Well, hello there, boys and girls. Let's go ahead and get this. Let's go ahead and get this done right here. Look, this is lesson number one, and if we look at here on our calendar, week one on Tuesday, our first lesson: sets of numbers, prime numbers, expressions, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's dig into it, shall we? Now remember, uh, as always, if well, learning is an active experience, but watching videos is not. So if you want this to be useful for you, good use of your time, then you need to take notes. You need to pause the video when you're confused, write down questions, unpause the video, continue to watch. If you answer a question, pause it again, go back and answer your question in words right next to where you wrote it. It's going to help you out. You can get great grades by doing that. So let's go ahead and get to this, shall we? So here's what we're talking about. We're talking about prime numbers, composite numbers, and neither. And you're probably familiar with these, but just to make sure, look, a prime number has exactly two factors. Now, in case you forgot, factors are, I'll write it over here, multiplicative parts. So things that multiply together to make another number. Those would be factors. So for example, uh, if we're talking about a prime number, it's going to have exactly two factors, like 1 times itself. You see? So this is the definition. That's kind of like an understanding. So here's an example. 7 is prime because 7 is just 1 times 7. It has exactly two factors, 1 and 7. So that's what a prime number would be. You see? How you guys doing with that? Good or bad? Man, I hope you're doing all right. Now, composite means, here's the official definition of composite. It has more than two factors. So this is where it gets a little tricky. Just because it's not prime doesn't mean that it would be composite, because to be composite it has to have more than two factors. Let's see an example of that. 8 is composite because it has 1, 2, and then of course times 1, right? So it obviously has more than two factors, so it's composite. But for example, the number 1, it only has one factor, itself. That makes it not prime or composite. How you guys doing on that? Good or bad? Um, why don't you try this real quick? Why don't you see if these are prime, composite, whatever, right? Let's try 27. Let's try 23. Let's try 14. Let's try 17. Why don't you go ahead and pause the video, see if those are prime, composite, or neither. Then unpause the video and I'll put a P or a C next to each one. You can see, all right? So 27, I'm going to get started. So if you didn't pause it yet, pause it now. Try this on your own. Learning is an active thing. So 27 is composite because it's, well, 3 times 9 times 1, or 3 times 3 times 3 times 1, right? 23, there's nothing that, no whole numbers that multiply to 23 except for 23 and itself. That makes it prime. If it's even, it's obviously composite because that means 2 goes into it. So 2 times 7 times 1, do you see? And 17, well, 17 is prime because nothing multiplies to 17 except for 1 times 17. Doing good so far? How'd you guys do? Man, leave me a comment. Let me know how you did. 1, 2, 3, or 4. What'd you get? Out of 4, what did you get? A 1, 2, a 3, or a 4? I hope you got a 4. Okay, so now, I hope this was something that you were at least exposed to in the past and familiar with. You may have forgotten some of the details, but man, here in algebra, we're going to take this to the next level. So what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about unknowns like x or a or y. Do you see? So what these are is these are just what we write when we don't know what the number is. So if we don't know what the number is, we write x. X is just some number we don't know what it is. So like if I look at the number x, that's just some random number. And I don't have any other information. Now that's not a hashtag, that's the pound sign, it means number. If we were going to use a hashtag, we'd say, because we are math AF. That means always factor, by the way, right? Always factor, because factoring breaks things apart into smaller pieces. Oh, it's a big deal. Okay, so this is just some random number. We don't know what it is. Could be anything. We have no idea. So if I had something like this, now it's just some random number, but it's actually one more than that. So this whole thing is a single number. It's one more than some unknown number. Do you see? Yeah. Now let's look at another example. X minus 3. That's 3 less than whatever x is. Whatever x is some unknown number, that's 3 less. Now here's the thing. You see all three of these. These are all prime. Even though x itself might not be prime. X could be 12. If x is 12, then this is no longer prime because we know x is 12. And then we could write it as a combination of two or more factors. But as of right now, all we could say is that x is equal to x times 1. That's two factors, do you see? And the same with this one, x plus 1. Well, we can't break that apart with multiplication, so we could just say that's 1 times x plus 1. Same with the x minus 3. Those are all prime. Now again, once you figure out what x is, maybe these aren't prime anymore. But with just the algebraic expression, these are algebraic expressions with an unknown, well, it's not prime. Now, let's talk about some examples with variables that are composite. For example, 2x. Well, this is x times x. This is x times 2. That's x times 2. It has two factors. Now, multiplication is repeated addition. That would be the same as x plus x. But this right here is composite because you see it has, you could write times 1, 2 or more factors. X times 2 times 1, do you see? Or, how about our good old buddy x squared? X squared is composite because that's x times x, and of course times 1, right? So these are both composite regardless of whatever x turns out to be. So, yeah, there we go. All right, so that's it. Those are the big ideas right here. I hope you've got a good grasp on our big ideas, and well, we'll see how you do. Hope you guys have a good day.